One, two.
Attention class, my name is Bagi Ahmad Dahlan, and today we will not have a lesson. Hooray! Instead, we will have a story.
What will the story be, mister?
Well, the story is about me, Ahmad Dahlan. This is my story. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, respected judges. My name is Alvaro from Madrasah Muallimin Muhammadiyah, Yogyakarta. So, before he was known as Ahmad Dahlan, he was simply a young man who did not lead crowds or stand on a big stage. Most days, he was seen with a book on his hands. One day, an old man watched and ignored. And after some time, he watched and he was still reading a book. Now one afternoon, the old man finally approached Ahmad Dahlan. Hey you! Yeah, you! Why are you always reading books? What's so special about it? Ahmad Dahlan closed his book and smiled. Well, because knowledge just brings me closer to God. And that simple answer followed him for the rest of his life. And years later, Ahmad Dahlan standing in Mekah, far from his home. He listened to teachers, met students from all around different countries, and learned that progress and learning could walk together. Now one night, he asked himself, if knowledge can open my mind here, it can open the minds at home too. When he returned back to Indonesia, he was no longer called Muhammad Darwis. Instead, he's called Ahmad Dahlan. When he returned back to Kauman, he looked around and felt uneasy. He saw people praying every single day, but the children had no schools and their families lived in poverty. He knew he had to do something. So in 1912, he gathered a small group of people into a simple room. He asked those people, we need a new path, a path where learning and faith could walk together. And one of their people asked Ahmad Dahlan, what will you call this movement, sir? And one of them replied, I know, Muhammadiyah, yes. No one in that room knew how big that name would become. Soon whispers turned into questions. Why do they learn math? Why do they use books and desks? And he listened and replied, because the world is changing and Muslims must be ready for it. Others agreed, others walked away, shaking their heads. One day, Ahmad Dahlan was standing in the classroom, teaching the students Surah Al-Ma'un. The next day, he taught it again. The next day after that, the same verses over and over again. The students were frustrated, and one of their students finally raised his hand. Teacher, why are we always learning the same chapter? It's so annoying. Ahmad Dahlan looked at him and replied, did you feed the hungry today? Did you care for the sick? The room fell silent. And in that silence, the lesson became clear. Soon, they were no longer reading verses, but they were also helping the poor, caring for the sick, and many much more. One of their people asked why Ahmad Dahlan was so much helping them. He replied, because prayer means nothing if it stops at words. And that, my friends, why Ahmad Dahlan never held a high office. He was never even called a president. He was unprivileged, yet he studied, he learned, and he questioned. When he saw his people struggling, he did not wait to be chosen, but he chose to act. He built schools so people could think. He built hospitals so people could live. Ahmad Dahlan never waited for history to call him a leader, but he became one by serving others. And that is why, long after his voice fell silent, his light still shines today. Thank you. Strive with sincerity and leave the results to Allah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.